Right guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at all the riffs in the final song of Death's Human, Vacant Planets. I've been meaning to do this one for a while. I just got sidetracked with that, lots of other little projects. I've done a cover of it recently, you may have seen it, so check the link below. And without much further ado, let's have a look at all the riffs in Vacant Planets. Alright, let's have a look at the first riff, the intro riff that only actually comes right at the intro, it doesn't come back in the song, which is a shame, it's a great riff. But let's play it first and then we'll break it down. Okay, alright, so let's have a look at what's going on in this riff. It took me a little while to get my head around it because it just moves around in weird fingering. But anyway, we'll just break it down very quick, very slowly. We're going to start on an open A, then into the first of D, then open A again to the second fret of A, then we're going to go to the fourth fret of D, then we're going to go down a semi-step on the A on the first fret and play the first fret into the second fret of D, and then we're going to twist our finger around to play our third hand around, put our third finger on the third fret of A, into the first fret of D, and then we're going to finish off this riff with 2 on the second fret of A, and then the riff effectively restarts at that point with an open A. So very slowly, and then we restart here. Now it's worth noting that basically this riff is in 10/4. So it's if we you know I mean I would sort of think of it as in 10/4. So basically if you play the entire cycle twice, you end up sort of with that count. So that's basically the way it goes all the way through. It's played 4 times. On the 4th repeat, we have a little tail of the riff, which basically goes. Okay, so I tend to go open A, second fret of A, then 5th fret of A, 3rd fret of D, 2nd fret of D, and then finish on the 3rd fret of A. Okay, so we've got 4 repeats of the riff, and then we end up with that sort of little tail at the end to go into the main vocal riff that comes in after that. All right, now it's be worth noting that on the last repeat of this riff, there is a second guitar, most likely Paul Masvidal's guitar, that comes in and does a little harmony. So let's have a quick look at how that harmony is played. Again, a little bit of a finger twister, so just bear with me. So I'll just play it very slowly and we'll break it down. Okay, so let's have a look at what's happening on that harmony. So we're on the 7th fret of D, and then we play the 7th fret of D to the 8th fret of D, so basically a tritone. Into then back to, 7th fret of D into 8th fret of G, then we go back to the 7th of D, to the 9th of D, and then we stretch our pinky onto the 11th of G, then back onto the 8th of D, and then back to the 9th of G, and then again, just like we did in the part below, we're going to switch our hand around here to play the 10th fret of D into the 8th fret of G, and then land on the 9th fret of D. So very slowly again, one more time. Okay, and that's for the intro riff. So let's have a look at the next riff now. Right, guys. So just after the verse riff, the intro riff, we have sort of the verse riff that kicks in that goes on for quite some time. So let's play it. It first comes in, I think, without any vocals, and then the vocals come in. So let's maybe play the riff first, and then we'll break it down. Okay, so that's the first way it's played, and there's a couple of little variations that we'll have a look at after that, but I think it's just too much if we try to do everything in one go. So let's have a quick look at how that that verse riff is played. So we start off with an E power chord, in this case D, because we're a whole step down, remember, we're deaf. So we're playing an E power chord. We're going to refer everything to standard tuning, it just makes life easier. Then we're going to go up to the 7th fret of A, and then play 7/8 here. Then we're going to palm mute onto an open E. Then we're going to play the 7th fret of A again. Then we're going to play 2 open E's, and then 7/8 on the A. Then another open E, and then hit the 8 of A. Okay? Then we're going to play 2 open E's again, 7/8 again, open E, then 7 this time. That's it. And then we're going to play 2 open E's, and then we're going to tail the first ending by going 2nd fret of E, 3rd fret of E, and then 2nd fret of A, 3rd fret of A, and 1st fret of E. So we're going to go 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so very slowly that first bit. Okay, right, then comes this, effectively we're gonna repeat that. All we're gonna change is the ending. So again, we're gonna go power chord, open E, then 7, 8, open E, 7, open twice, 7, 8, open E, 8, open E, 7, 8, then 7. Then once we hit the open E here, we're gonna go down here to the tail because it's a slightly longer tail. So what's happening here? We're going 4-3 on the A, a major third interval here with the 4th of E, 6th fret of A, and then finish off on the 3rd fret of E with a bit of vibrato. And I tend to palm mute that 4th fret of E as well. Okay? And that's for how the main vocal riff is played. Now, we've got it's basically the same thing. It goes on for the same thing, but a harmonized guitar comes in at the tails as well. So we're going to play again all of the same thing. Okay, so what we're doing at the tail there, we're going 7, 9, 10 on the A, 9, 10 on the D, and then end up on the 8th of A. And that's right at the tail of the riff. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to have a look at the next riff that comes after that, which is sort of the little bridging riff where there's a little tempo change. Okay, so that was for the main vocal riff. Let's have a look at the little bridging riff. Right, okay, so let's play you through the bridging riff. There's a few little things that goes on in this riff. It's a really interesting little riff rhythmically, but let's play it first slowly and then we'll break it down. Okay, all right, so let's have a look at that riff. A great little riff, I think, a very typical Chuck riff as well. So what we're going to do here, we're going to be basically starting off on the 5th fret of E, and we're going to tremolo for 8 16th notes. So you're going to go 1 E and 2 E and Now comes a tricky little bit. You're going to hit that 5th fret again, but this time instead of feeling it as a 16th note, you're going to play a group of 4 quavers. So you're going to slow down. So you're going to go 1 E and 2 E and So that 5th fret is effectively the stop note to play the little tail. Then you're going to go down to the 4th fret of E, and what you're going to do there, you're going to play a group of, if I get my counting right, of 12 16th notes. And then we're going to go to the 4th fret of A and 6th fret of D, which is a power chord, C sharp power chord, and then land on the 1st fret, power chord on the 1st fret of E, so 1 and 3. Okay, right. Then we're going to play a similar idea this time from the 3rd fret of E, and we're going to go again. We're going to go 8th notes on the 3rd fret, and then we're going to play that 3rd. So let's have a look. So what am I doing? I'm going 1 E and 2 E and then on the 3 I play that 3rd fret, slow it down, go 6, 5 on the A, and then 6 on the E. Then we're going to go back to the 5th and effectively play the riff we played at the start of this section. Okay? And then we're going to go back and play another group of 12 16th notes. Then we're going to go here on the 4th fret of A, and then go 4, 6 on the 4 on the A, 6 on the D, 7 on the D, 3rd on the A, 5, 6 on the D. And we're going to get a little bit of a swing there. Okay? All right? And then we're going to basically pretty much repeat this entire section. The whole idea is just keep repeating. Again, so very slowly, one more time from the top. Okay? All right, now that brings us on to effectively what is my favorite riff of this song. All right, so this is the sort of the jumpy riff that, you know, with the awesome drumming pattern from Sean Reinert. So let's play it first and then we'll have a look. Okay, so what's happening on this riff? We're starting on an F power chord, so we're on the 1st fret of E and 3rd fret of A, and we're gonna play that and then play 4 tremolo picking on the E string, and then hit the power chord again. So and then do that again. So we're gonna go power chord, 4 open E's, power chord, and then we're gonna add that third power chord. We're gonna stop very short, very quickly for half a beat, and then we're gonna go back into it. And then we're gonna play. So we're gonna go F, 4 open E's, F, and then we're gonna go power chord on the 3rd fret of E, and then 4th fret of E. So we're gonna. Okay, so. Okay, now we're gonna play exactly the same thing a second time. And then you got it there. We vary it. Instead of going 3-4, we go 4-3. So we just vary up the riff like that. And that's pretty much that sort of bridging riff that takes us into sort of the next riff, which actually has a massive tempo change on it. We're sort of dropping down the tempo and playing a sort of, it's really quite an odd phrase actually, to be honest, the way it's played, but it sounds great. All right, so let's have a look at the next section and then we'll break it down. All right, so let's play through the next section of the song. So we're going through, this is riff number 4 actually. So off we go. Okay, right, so let's have a look at what's happening on this riff. We're starting on the 5th fret of E, and we're going 4 5th fret of E, then 4 7th of A, and then we're going the 8th fret of D. So it's that chord sound that you've got. Then we're gonna finish off on the 7th fret of A. Then we're gonna go down a semitone onto the 4th fret of E, and we're gonna go 4, 7, then 8 on the D, and then we're gonna tail it up with the 5, 6 on the A, and then 3rd fret of E. Okay, so the riff goes so. Okay, now this riff does come back, but it's sandwiched with another riff in between. So let's have a quick look at that riff in between that comes in. Okay, again, another great little riff there. Right, so let's have a look at this little galloped riff. So we're starting on the 2nd fret of E, then we go to the 4th fret of A, and we gallop on the A, going down, up, down. Then we go back to the 2nd fret of E, then we go 4, 3 on the A, and then 1, 3, 1 on the A, E, 3 on the S. So it's effectively an F power chord broken down. Then we repeat this. So we change it a little bit the second time. We're going on the 4th fret again. Then we go 2nd fret of E, and then 3, 2 on the A, and then open E and 2nd fret of A. So let's play that again very slowly. Okay, and at that point in the song, that's quite funny because he sandwiches that riff back with this sort of that 5, 7, 8 riff. Okay, and then we bring back the sort of that gallopy riff again. So we're sandwiching the serious in between each other. Okay, and then the second, so we play this twice, and what happens at this point, right at the end of it, we're gonna basically just play 2 power chords going into the tapping section, which is just an open E. So let's have a look at how that transition happens. With a dead block on that F sharp, okay? So try to practice that very slowly, that riff, make sure you get that little gallop. Yeah. Okay, that's very important to get that little gallop, and watch your right hand to get the down, up, down action. Right, okay, the next section will be the section that we all love. It's the tapping section, the typical death tapping section. So let's have a look at that one. Right, okay guys, so let's have a look now at the tapping section. So I would suggest at this point to switch to your neck pickup to get a slightly smoother sound, the kind of sound that Chuck liked to have when he was playing his tapping section. Let's play it first and then we'll break it down. Okay, so there are two parts in here. There's a harmony part that I'll show you in a minute. But let's break it down. Break down this part. The harmony part is pretty much the same thing, just on a different string. Right. So we're tapping on the 12th fret, and I apologize for the little fret bars on the 13th. I need to get this guitar sort of looked after. So we're basically on the 12th fret of D, and we're positioning our left hand finger on the 8th and the 5 of D. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tap on the 12th. And then we've got 8 5-handed fingers. But what we're gonna do is not put our pinky straight away on the on over here. It's a very Van Halen type tapping. So we're gonna tap on the 12th, pull off into the 5th, and then so we're gonna tap into the 5th, hammer on the 8th, and then pull off back into the 5. So be very careful. The tendency for people is to tap twice in quick succession. That's actually not the way Chuck taps. He taps very often, and you've got pretty much, I think, spiritual healing tapping at the start is pretty much the same thing. So. Okay, and we play that 3 times. On the 4th repeat of this, we play the 14th fret of D only once, and then we come back down to the 12th. On the 13th, sorry, and then we come back to the 12th. Then we repeat all of this. And at this point, we switch strings. So your left hand is moving up to the 6th and 9th of A, and our tapping finger is moving up onto the 13th and the 14th. So, and we're going to do the same pattern. So tap on the 13th, pull off into the 6th, tap into the 9th, and pull off back into the 6th, and then repeat that 3 times. Okay, so that's for the sort of lower guitar. Right, okay, so let's have a look now at the higher section of the tapping that comes in after 2 repeats of the lower tapping. So let's play through and then we'll break it down. Okay, so what's happening here? Our left hand is now on the 6 and 3 of the E string. So we're going to basically tap on the 10th, pull off into the 3, hammer on the 6, pull off back onto the 3. And we're going to do that 3 times. And we're going to play this cycle twice. Then we're going to move up to the B string. Our left hand is going to be positioned around the 7th and the 4th of B. And our tap is going to move up to the 11th. And we're going to go 11th. So tap, pull off into the 4th and hammer on the 7th, pull off back on the 4th. We're going to do that 3 times and then we're going to go to the 12th. So. Then we're going to repeat this again. Then we're going to go back to the 10th of A and repeat that. Now on the second round when we come back on the B string, what we're going to do, we're going to do a full cycle. And we're going to go to the 2nd fret of A, power chord, and then a B flat power chord. So let me show you what you're doing. 2nd fret of A, E and 4th fret of A, and then B flat, which is on the 1st fret of A and 3rd fret of D. Right, okay guys, so the final section of the song is the riff, the riff under the solo. So let's play it down, let's play you the two riffs that we have under the solo, and then we'll break it down. Okay, so this is the first one. So this is under, I think if I'm correct, under Paul Masvidal's solo. So we start off with the power chord on the 5th fret of A, and then we're going down from there to the 5th fret of A E, tremolo picking into the 7th fret of A. Then we do the same thing from the 8th A of E into the 10th of A. Then we back to the 5th of E, then 7th of A, then 8th of E. Then we go to the 10th of E. Then we play a power chord from the 8th of E, and then a double power chord on the 7th fret of E. All right, that's for the solo for Paul Masvidal, sorry if I'm pretty correct. Then we enter the sort of second solo, which is the Chuck's solo. Now the rhythm underneath that is going to go like this. Okay, so what's happening here? We're changing key into the 4th fret of E, and we're going effectively more like a triplet kind of picking. We're going for, to 4 groups of triplets. And 7th of E, A, so 4 of E, 7 of A, 6 of A, then 3rd of E. So. Okay, and then what happens right at the last hit? So we're going to the last group of notes. We're going from the 4th again. got the little tail that comes in. So we don't finish the riff. We're going 4, 7, 6, and then we play the little tail, open A, second fret of A, open D, 3-2 on the D, and then third fret of A. Okay, and that's pretty much all the riffs. After that, we pretty much do a very typical death kind of pattern. We repeat all the riffs except for the intro riff, right up to the end of the song. The final riff of the song is actually the song ends up on that riff, which is the riff that comes in before the tapping section. And that's pretty much it for Vacant Planets. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Have fun with playing this riff. Not the trickiest song to play, but a fun one to play. Lovely tapping section. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Till then, take care and stay metal.